What if the greatest investment advantage didn't belong to the young, but to those who've lived long enough to understand what truly matters? What if the smartest way to grow money after 50 had nothing to do with taking bigger risks, and everything to do with avoiding the one mistake that ruins decades of effort? Tonight, I want to show you something Charlie Munger rarely talked about publicly. The quiet advantage older investors hold, that young investors never get. Because if you've crossed 50, you already possess something Wall Street can't sell you. Something no financial advisor earns a commission from. Something Charlie Munger spent his entire life trying to explain. The first rule of compounding is to never interrupt it unnecessarily. But here's the twist most people miss, especially after 50. It's not just about growing your money. It's about protecting the compounding engine you've already built. And if you're watching this, you probably feel it too. You don't want to gamble. You don't want to chase the newest trend. You don't want to start over at this age. You just want your money to grow quietly, safely, steadily. So you can live the life you've earned, without fear of losing what took decades to build. So the question becomes, what would Charlie Munger actually do, if he had small money, not millions, and was starting at age 50, 60, or even 70? What investments would he trust? What traps would he avoid? And what approach would let your money grow, even if the world around you becomes unpredictable? In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal 5 investments Charlie Munger consistently praised, not the loud, risky, flashy ones, but the ones that protect peace of mind, preserve dignity, and let your money breathe without stress. 5 investments that can grow small money steadily. The Munger way: slow, honest, intelligent, and regret-proof. This isn't financial advice. It's something else entirely. A philosophy, designed for people who care more about security than speed. And once you understand it, you'll never look at your money or your time the same way again. Most people think investing begins with money. But at 50, it begins with something far heavier. It begins with the quiet weight of years. Because when you reach this age, you're no longer dreaming about becoming rich. You're trying to protect what little you've managed to save, while still hoping there's enough runway left to grow it. And if you're like most people watching this, your story might look something like this. You've worked hard, often harder than anyone knows. You've sacrificed sleep, weekends, family moments, and more than one version of yourself. All for a future you hoped would feel secure. But somewhere along the way, life got expensive. The kids needed things. Rent climbed like a ladder, missing half its steps. Your parents aged. Emergencies appeared without knocking. And suddenly, the savings you imagined you'd have by now, never quite materialized. You look at your account, maybe it's $10,000, maybe $40,000, maybe $120,000. And you wonder, is this enough? Can this still grow? Did I start too late? You scroll through financial videos filled with 25-year-olds preaching about compounding, as if decades of life experience could be replaced by a spreadsheet. You see people talking about high-risk, high-return strategies, while the only thing high-risk in your life feels like the next medical bill. In your 20s, Risk felt like a game. In your 30s, it felt like a challenge. By your 50s, risk feels like a threat. It's not fear. It's wisdom. Because you know what loss really feels like. Not the theoretical 20% drop you see on charts, but the real-life drop. The phone calls, the bills, the conversations at the kitchen table. The tightening in your chest when you realize something you worked for is slipping. Charlie Munger understood this better than almost anyone. For all his billionaire success, he never forgot being broke. Never forgot the years he spent rebuilding after tragedy. Never forgot how fragile wealth can be. And if he were sitting across from you, not as a billionaire, but as a man who has lived through 99 years of mistakes, losses, recoveries, and victories, he'd tell you something surprising. You don't need to swing harder. You just need to stop swinging at the wrong pitches. Because the truth is, small money can grow at any age. But only if you stop treating investing like a race. And start treating it like a partnership with time. At 50 or 60, you're not behind. You're simply at a different chapter. A chapter that requires a different strategy. Most people your age are trapped between two painful pressures. Fear of losing what they have. And fear of not having enough. This is the emotional tension older investors carry every day. It's the reason many freeze. And do nothing. They keep their money in cash, letting inflation chew through it slowly. Because losing slowly feels safer than losing quickly. But Charlie Munger would say the opposite. Not investing is the slowest way to go broke. He knew the danger of inactivity. The danger of letting fear become a financial plan. The danger of believing growth is only for the young. So let's imagine, for a moment, a person watching this video. A 55-year-old sitting at a quiet dining table. With bills in a neat stack on one side. And an iPad glowing softly on the other. The house is calm. The kids are grown. The world feels quieter than it used to. But inside, there's a storm of questions. Are my savings enough? Can I still build something? Do I still have time to grow? Is the future supposed to feel this uncertain? There's a loneliness money can't fix. The loneliness of not knowing whether you've done enough. Whether you've prepared enough. Whether you've lived wisely. And that's why this video exists. To speak to that exact moment. Because Charlie Munger believed something radical. Small money in the hands of a wise person beats large money in the hands of a foolish one. And at 50 plus, you've earned wisdom the young simply don't have. You know patience. You know discipline. You know the cost of mistakes. You know the value of peace. You know that wealth without calm is just another kind of prison. And that makes you, ironically, a far better investor today than you were at 25. But wisdom without a strategy is just regret waiting to happen. And that's why the next part of this story matters. Because in a moment, we'll step into the turning point. The moment older investors discover the shift Charlie Munger wanted everyone to understand. You don't grow money faster after 50. You grow it smarter. Not with risk. Not with trends. Not with desperation. but with 5 investments that protect your sleep, guard your future, and grow quietly in the background. So you can live your life without fear. And once you see how Munger thought about these choices, you'll understand something powerful. It's never too late. The money you have today can become the foundation you wish you had decades ago. There comes a moment, usually quiet, usually unexpected, when a person realizes that the future isn't something far away anymore. It's here. It's now. It's sitting across from you, waiting for a decision. For Charlie Munger, that moment came long before he was wealthy. Long before people called him a genius. Long before the world cared about his wisdom. It came when he was broke. Divorced. Living in a tiny apartment. With nothing but an old car and a daughter fighting a disease he couldn't afford to treat. People forget this part. They see the billionaire, not the man. But the truth is, Charlie's turning point was born from pain. The same kind of pain many people over 50 carry quietly in their chest. The fear of running out of time. The fear of making one more mistake. The fear of not being able to protect the people you love. The fear of losing what you spent decades building. And in that difficult, uncertain chapter of his life, Charlie made a decision. A decision so simple, most people overlook it. But powerful enough to change the trajectory of everything that came after. He decided to stop chasing wealth. And start building wisdom. To stop gambling with money. And start managing it like a partner. To stop looking for fast returns. And start looking for durable ones. He realized something few people ever understand, even after years of investing. It's not the size of your money that determines your future. It's the size of your discipline. This was the turning point. And it's the same turning point many people watching this video are standing in front of right now. Because at 50 plus, you don't need more speed. You need more clarity. You don't need more risk. You need more calm. You don't need bigger bets. You need better decisions. Munger's shift began with one simple insight. Small money grows fastest when it stops trying to grow fast. He understood that the most dangerous moment in a person's financial life is not when they're young and broke, but when they're older and scared. Fear makes people take shortcuts. Fear makes people chase quick returns. Fear makes people believe they're running out of time. So they reach for strategies that could destroy everything they built. Munger once said, "The desire to get rich fast is the greatest enemy of getting rich slowly." And for someone over 50, getting rich slowly isn't a weakness. It's a lifeline. Because slow growth doesn't just build wealth. It protects it. It stabilizes it. It gives you peace. This is where the turning point becomes real. Imagine someone who has spent decades working. A 52-year-old teacher. A 58-year-old electrician. A 61-year-old single mother. Who raised her family alone. They're sitting at a kitchen table. Running numbers. Refreshing their banking app. Wondering if the future they dreamed of is still possible. Their money feels too small. Their time feels too short. Their fear feels too loud. And then they hear something Munger said countless times. You don't need to be brilliant. You just need to avoid being foolish. For the first time, something clicks. This entire journey isn't about doubling money. It's about not letting it disappear. It's about building something that grows quietly. Without drama. Without noise. Without sleepless nights. That realization, that shift, is the moment everything changes. Because suddenly, the viewer understands. They don't need to chase the market. They don't need risky trades. They don't need complicated strategies. They don't need 20 different investments. They just need a system. A simple, safe, durable system. One that grows even when they're not watching. One that protects their future without gambling with it. This is the exact moment older investors transform from anxious savers into wise architects of their own retirement. And what Munger discovered painfully, slowly, deliberately, was that the best investments for people over 50 aren't the ones with the highest potential return. They're the ones with the lowest potential regret. Because regret, not risk, is the true enemy of older investors. Regret steals joy. Regret steals confidence. Regret steals sleep. Regret steals years. So in this part of the story, the turning point becomes clear. Older investors don't need more risk. They need resilience. They need stability. They need investments that survive storms, not chase sunshine. And that's the bridge to the next part of our story. Because Munger didn't just understand the problem. He created a framework, a simple, quiet, reliable way for people with small amounts of money to grow it safely. Without panic. Without stress. Without fear of losing everything. And now, we step into the heart of this video. The 5 safe investments retirees never talk about, but Munger lived by. Investments that don't make headlines, but make futures. Investments that don't promise fast wealth, but deliver lasting peace. Investments that turn small money into something strong. Something steady. Something meaningful. This is the moment where wisdom becomes strategy. And strategy becomes safety. Now that we've seen the turning point, it's time to focus on the investments that actually matter for people over 50. Charlie Munger didn't chase flashy headlines, and neither should you. He believed in slow, steady, intelligent growth investments that protect your money, preserve your dignity, and give you peace of mind. Let's explore them one by one, in a way that makes sense for someone who values security over speed. First, there are dividend-paying blue-chip stocks. These aren't exciting, headline-grabbing investments. They don't promise overnight riches or make you the talk of the town. What they do offer, though, is stability. Companies with strong brands, consistent earnings, and a history of paying dividends act like quiet machines, rewarding patience and discipline. Each quarter, the dividend is proof that your money is working without panic, without stress. For someone over 50, dividends aren't just income, they are reassurance. They let you see the value of patience and consistency, allowing your money to grow while you focus on your life, not your portfolio's daily ups and downs. Next, low-cost index funds provide a simple, reliable way to invest. Unlike picking individual stocks or chasing trends, an index fund mirrors the entire market. Over time, it grows steadily, reflecting decades of economic progress. For older investors, this is perfect because it removes guesswork and emotion from investing. You don't need to monitor every swing or react to every headline. You simply invest, reinvest, and let time do the work. This slow, steady growth aligns perfectly with the wisdom and patience that come with age. It's the opposite of risky speculation. It's disciplined, predictable, and calm. Then, we have bonds and government securities. Many think of these as boring or low return, but that's exactly why they're ideal for older investors. Bonds provide safety, predictability, and a steady stream of interest. Unlike stocks, they are not subject to wild swings, making them a foundation you can rely on. For someone over 50, this stability is priceless. Bonds anchor your portfolio, protecting your hard-earned savings from market turbulence while letting the other parts of your portfolio grow more freely. This combination of growth and protection is at the heart of Munger's philosophy: never gamble unnecessarily, especially when you've already worked decades to build something. Real estate with reliable cash flow is another overlooked option. Many imagine property investment as risky or complicated, but it doesn't have to be. When done correctly, real estate can provide steady rental income while appreciating over time. This isn't about flipping houses or speculating on trends. It's about creating a quiet, reliable source of growth. The beauty of real estate is that it is tangible. You can see it, feel it, and know that your money is working in a way that's stable and predictable. For older investors, that peace of mind is often more valuable than chasing a speculative gain that could disappear overnight. Finally, there are certain annuities, steady, reliable tools that provide guaranteed income. While not glamorous, they can be life-changing for someone approaching retirement. Annuities ensure you won't outlive your savings, giving you a predictable, steady flow of income even if the markets turn against you. They may not make headlines, but they create stability, reduce stress, and allow you to live with confidence. Combined with the other four investments, dividends, index funds, bonds, and real estate, annuities help complete a portfolio that is resilient, reliable, and designed for long-term peace of mind. The underlying philosophy of all five investments is simple: avoid regret. Each choice is designed to protect your sleep, preserve your dignity, and let your money grow quietly in the background. After 50, wealth isn't about chasing fast returns or exciting headlines. It's about creating a system that works with your time, your wisdom, and your discipline. This system doesn't just grow money, it protects it, stabilizes it, and gives you the freedom to enjoy life without anxiety. Charlie Munger's secret is clear: slow, deliberate, intelligent growth is far more powerful than chasing trends. And after decades of experience, you already have the tools to succeed. Patience, discipline, and emotional control, traits that come naturally with age, are more valuable than any market tip or headline. By focusing on these five safe investments, you're not just growing money. You're growing confidence, stability, and peace, the true wealth that lasts. Now that you understand the 5 safe investments Charlie Munger recommended for people over 50, it's time to step back and see the bigger picture. This isn't just about stocks, bonds, real estate, or annuities. It's about a mindset, a philosophy that transforms the way we think about money, time, and life itself. For decades, most people believed that wealth was measured by speed. How fast could you earn it? How high could you grow it? How soon could you reach the next milestone? But at 50 plus, speed becomes irrelevant. What matters is resilience. What matters is patience. What matters is knowing that every decision you make today either protects or endangers everything you've built so far. Think about it for a moment. The money you saved, the hours you worked, the sacrifices you made, all of it represents something far greater than numbers on a screen. It represents your life, your choices, your story. And the truth is, after 50, money is no longer just a tool. It's a measure of freedom, of peace, and of dignity. Charlie Munger's wisdom reminds us that growing wealth is not a race, it's a dialogue with time. The older you are, the more time has taught you about patience, about loss, about resilience. Every financial decision becomes an echo of the life lessons you've learned, the value of discipline, the cost of mistakes, the importance of calm in the face of uncertainty. And yet, there is something even deeper. Beyond the numbers, beyond the investments, lies a quiet truth: the greatest wealth is not what you see in your account balance. The greatest wealth is the confidence that comes from knowing you have done everything reasonably possible to protect your future. The greatest wealth is peace of mind, the ability to wake up without fear, to sleep without worry, to live each day with the dignity you've earned. Imagine sitting quietly in your living room, perhaps with a cup of coffee or tea. Outside, the world moves fast, noisy and chaotic. But inside, there's stillness. Your investments grow slowly, steadily, quietly, just as Munger intended. No panic. No chasing. No unnecessary risk. Just life, unfolding in its natural rhythm, with your money working as a silent partner, supporting the life you've earned. This is the final lesson: after 50, small money can still grow, not through luck, not through speed, not through risky bets, but through wisdom, discipline, and thoughtful action. The mistakes you avoided, the patience you practiced, the choices you made with care, they all compound quietly, invisibly, turning your modest savings into something meaningful over time. And here is the quietest, most profound insight of all: it's never too late. The money you have today, no matter how small, can become the foundation for your peace, security, and freedom tomorrow. All it requires is clarity, calm, and adherence to principles that protect your wealth and honor your years of hard work. Charlie Munger understood this better than most. He knew that real wealth isn't flashy or fast. It's enduring, thoughtful, and built over decades. And now, with the 5 safe investments you've learned, you have the tools to follow the same path. You can grow your money without sacrificing your sleep, your confidence, or your dignity. So take a deep breath. Reflect on the journey that brought you here. Recognize the wisdom you've earned, the lessons you've lived, and the power you hold today. The path ahead isn't about chasing what's new or following the crowd. It's about walking steadily, deliberately, and wisely, letting time and discipline work quietly in your favor. And in that quiet, in that space of calm reflection, you will see it clearly: true wealth isn't just numbers on a page. True wealth is security, peace and the knowledge that you have grown not just your money, but yourself. And in that, you will find freedom. The screen fades to soft light. The piano hums gently. Outside, life continues in its usual rhythm. But inside, there is calm. There is confidence. There is quiet victory, a reward for patience, wisdom, and the careful choices that only experience can teach. For those over 50, the message is simple, yet profound: grow your money the smart way. Protect it, respect it, and let it grow quietly. Because wealth, like life, is best when it's steady, enduring, and built with care. And with that understanding, you are no longer just an investor. You are a steward of your own future, a quiet architect of your later years, and a testament to the power of patience, wisdom, and discipline.